Ziaad, what made you join IBM and what are your key responsibilities?
Sure, so thanks very much. Look, IBM is a worldwide leader in technology. It's at the advent of changing technology for the better. For me, joining IBM wasn't much of a consideration. It was an easy decision because ultimately when you go back into the history of IBM, IBM has been at the evolution of all technological trends. So if we look at the legacy of IBM was involved in the first mission to space. IBM was involved in establishing and producing the first personal computer, the storage device, the magnetic stripe at the back of a credit card which contains all the data, LASIK surgery, and I can go on and on. So ultimately, IBM continues to invest in research and development in order to provide the best solutions and offerings to both our customers and our channel partners and the wider ecosystem to make sure that we as a society and as business continue evolving for the better.
Excellent. Ziaad, your role as Chief Operating Officer at IBM South Africa, can you tell us more about that and what does it really entail?
So look, as the Chief Operating Officer of IBM South Africa, as you would imagine, I've got quite a wide role. I look after various portfolios, some of which include, for example, our strategy, our transformation and operations, our sales transaction business unit. What's very exciting is the special programs and special investments, which includes our equity equivalent investment program. I also look after our BEE and all of our transformation, and including things like real estate procurement and various others. So what is also exciting for me in my role is the client center, because ultimately this is where we invite both customers as well as business partners to come and collaborate and engage with IBM using the best of IBM technology, both in terms of hardware and solutions, in order to solve real problems. And that client center is situated at our offices at 90 Grayston.
Excellent. Ziaad, IBM has been through a very interesting transition over the past few years. How do you believe you've handled this transition, and are you seeing the progress that you've been hoping for?
So look, IBM has picked a strategy. We believe it is the right strategy. Over the many decades, and in fact IBM is 108 years old, so through the various stages of technology development, we've always remained current. So I spoke a little bit earlier around developing the first personal computer. As you know, IBM no longer develops personal computers. We've sort of moved on from that. We continue to have a very, very good productive hardware space where we look after server, storage, etc., including the mainframe. But we've also balanced that against the emerging technologies of what's prevalent and relevant in today's market. So when we look at our solution space, we have all the right plays around our augmented intelligence, around data, around security, around blockchain, as well as things like data science, because ultimately you cannot have a data discussion without AI. So we've got the right plays into the emerging technologies, and in fact we lead in most of those spaces. So I think in terms of transition, we continue to have a balanced portfolio which is innovative, looks after the needs of the customer as well as the market, both in terms of balanced risk, but also with great foresight into the future, looking after optimization.
There seems to be a lot of hype around hybrid technology at this point in time. What is IBM's involvement, and do you have a strategic focus around hybrid technology?
You're absolutely right. It seems as though hybrid is the new buzzword in the market. Many people talk about hybrid, but essentially what it provides is good balance. And the balance provides for great risk mitigation as well as great optimization and efficiency. So when we think about hybrid, we think about efficiencies and managing the risk, but using the best of breed technology. So in terms of the hybrid discussion, we would look at both areas of hardware and solutions. On the hardware side, we would concentrate in terms of the mainframe and the storage as well as the servers, and balance that with IBM Cloud Private. That is fantastic because ultimately it allows scale. On the solutions side, In fact, most of the customers utilize multiple clouds. They don't just simply stick with either private or public, and IBM provides the full stack around this. What is also nice about the IBM product offering in this area is that it provides a robust suite of offerings behind the cloud. So that provides for things like AI, fantastic data opportunities, leveraging, for example, the security stack in the background, and it allows for great efficiencies without the customer having to worry about every single element that's required in order to look after their data or their technology plays.
Excellent. IBM have a perception in the market that they are largely focused towards the enterprise client. What about the mid-market space?
Sure. So, look, IBM does not largely play in the consumer space, so that we're quite clear on. However, the world has evolved. And as markets change, models change, product offerings change, solutions change. So we do continue to provide our greatest value offerings as well as product offerings in the enterprise space. Now, enterprise doesn't necessarily mean large enterprises like your big banks and big insurance companies, etc. We play across multiple platforms, serving multiple clients. And the misnomer of IBM only being there for the very big enterprise is incorrect. We're quite agile. We work with many emerging businesses, even small businesses, and ultimately we're here to support the market that's out there, and we believe that we have the right product offerings to tailor for all of their needs.
Excellent. Ziaad, what can we expect to see from IBM South Africa in the next 12 to 24 months?
I'd say largely more of the same. IBM has always been about evolution, making sure that our customers have the best of breed technology in all the different areas. So when we look back earlier, your question was around, where has IBM come from, and we spoke about the development of the first personal computer. IBM now is no longer in that space. So what we are interested in is basically continuing down the track of supporting our current product offerings, but also making sure that our product offerings are catering for the market needs in the forms of the new solutions, etc. So I would say more of the same on the technology front, but just simply bigger, better, and faster, right? With all of the right things in terms of the solutions and the safety and security and all of that built into those product offerings. Then continuing to be essential to the customer and the market, continuous development around research and development. In fact, we are doing a lot of work around quantum computing. There's a large play around lattice cryptography to make sure that the security that supports quantum computing is state of the art. Continuing to develop and ensure that local markets progress from a skills base. Making sure that emerging businesses are supported, great amount of emphasis around BEE, and making sure that we have enterprises that are developed and that the skills are moving in the right direction. So if I just sum it up in 2 words, innovation being one, and fantastic product offerings.
Excellent. Well, that's some really great insight. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ziaad.
Thank you.